More boob milk. Boob milk, please.
Oh, what a way to start the episode. Hey, but listen, let's get into it.
Georgie called me 3 times last night. You know, really, really early in the morning. You know, and that's unacceptable.
I mean, listen, to be honest with you, I'm gonna have to agree with that one too, to be honest with you. The way George is moving is bare suspect. Like, what's wrong with this guy? You was with a woman for however long you was together. The whole time when you was together, you couldn't pattern up your freaking attitude. You couldn't pattern up the fact that you need to get a job. The whole time you was there, you was allowing her to legit be everything. You know, in terms of the money, the accommodation, you name it, she was it. Oh, I know. Her father was obviously a big part to play in that too. But at the end of the day, this man was living on Darcy's earnings, Darcy's roof, the whole shebang. But now, because he's become a better person, he has his own business, he now thinks he can walk back in a life like that. Let me tell you something real quick, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter how we see Darcy or Stacey or whatever. It doesn't change the fact that Georgie does not own Darcy. He's walking back in her life as if he owns her. Ringing girl bare times. Last week we saw him stopping her, like literally stopping her from running out, questioning her, saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. What's love gotta do? Gotta do with it. You know what I'm saying? Love ain't strong enough for a freaking relationship. And some people are gonna understand this. I hate it when people do that, man. But I love you. So you can love me, but what do you bring to my life? What value do you bring to my life? Better yet, in this situation, what value did you bring to my life when we was together? I loved you. What's love gotta do? Gotta do. Anyway, Georgie needs to fix up, but let's continue.
I like you to come to my wedding, but like, I need to look for new best man, basically. You know, that's up.
I mean, listen, to be honest with you, I was very surprised by Florin, to be honest with you. I was surprised that man turned up, met George and said, listen, bro, you can't be my best man anymore, but you can still come to the wedding. I don't know how that makes sense, to be honest with you, because him coming to the wedding was a no-go regardless when it came to Darcy. And the reason why I say this is because, you see, Florian has decided to remove George as his best man at the wedding because he wants to make amends with Darcy and also make his wife happy again, because at the end of the day, after everything that went down, his wife wasn't happy with him. Darcy hates his guts, doesn't trust him anymore, so he's trying to make things better, which really and truly shocked the hell out of me, to be honest, because for the most part, when this guy is held accountable by his wife or even Darcy, he's always on the defense about, I'm Florin and I don't have a job. They're thinking, why are you speaking when you don't even have a job? You don't even do anything. You don't bring nothing to her life. But anyway, that is Georgie, done and dusted. But let's see if this is going to help his relationship with Darcy be re-amended, and that is Florian and Darcy, not Georgie and Darcy. But of course, we continue.
No, for what I'm calling you, like, to not call her no more, to not bother her no more, to like...
Tell him I don't want him to know anything about my life.
After today, well, I don't can talk no more about for Darcy to...
Alright, boom, bam. What's going on here? Let me tell you real quick. So, Florian has told Darcy that, listen, I've told Georgie that he's not going to be my best man anymore. Darcy's like, that's not really enough for me to trust you again. So what I want you to do is I want you to ring Georgie right now and tell him exactly what, as you saw there, he told him. And that is basically that I am not going to keep you updated on Darcy's life anymore. At the end of the day, you know, you need to move on because she's moved on. And that's that. And listen, to be honest with you, I blame Darcy for asking Florin to call Georgie and get Georgie to back off her and leave her alone and not to try and investigate her dating life and all that kind of stuff. I don't blame it to the slightest. Nobody wants to be stalked by their ex, you know what I mean? Nobody wants the ex to know what they're doing. I say that though, but then there's people in this world who are toxic and they want the ex to see what they're doing because they want the ex to know that they have moved on, and they want the ex to know that they're now in a better place, and they want the ex to know that they now have a better person. Those people I will never understand, because while that is going through their head, does it not does it not register them that all of that attitude, all of that behavior means that you haven't got over your person? Like, honestly, but hey, man, people be people and they do what they want to do, you know what I mean? All I know is this, is like, my life, there's times when I've got a text like, oh, I see you went over this place and I see you didn't go alone and I see you did this and that. I'm like, rah, are you okay? Are you okay? And when I say, rah, are you okay? Are you okay? That's not me actually responding to the person. That's me looking at the message and saying to myself, yeah, I'm not going to reply to that. Bye-bye, delete it. I don't need to reply to things that I don't care about. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not something that I care to entertain, then why am I going to entertain it? Because at the end of the day, I'm not one of those people that likes toxic energy. If I feel like somebody being toxic, I'm going to ignore you. You know what I'm saying? And even if I'm wrong, I'll still rather be wrong rather than chance it, if you dig what I'm saying. But nonetheless, though, Florin was definitely surprising, to be fair. I didn't expect him to actually make the phone call, but clearly making amends with Darcy and making sure everything's okay with Stacey is something that is crucial to him. And I say that because why would it be crucial to him? Easy, because you see, without Stacey, Florin has to get a job. So of course he's gonna always want to make sure that Stacey's in a good place. But I say that though, just wait to see what else happens when it comes to Florin later on in this episode.
Keep saying that over and over again. This is too expensive. That is too expensive. Everything's expensive to you. And you're not working. I'm paying for everything.
You know, it's crazy because they're still looking for a wedding venue. How many episodes? It's been, what, 6 episodes now? And they're still looking for a wedding venue because he keeps saying no to everything because everything is too expensive. This wedding venue right here is going to cost them a whole 40 bags. $40,000. And he said, no, it's too expensive. But then Stacey decides to say, you know what? What the? You ain't working. It's my money and I like this place. So we are going to get married right here and have everything right here, whether you like it or not, because I am the breadwinner and you are pretty much a loser.
And if you really cared, if things were too expensive, you'd be working right now.
I don't like it. I don't want to spend that money for that.
It's not your money, it's my money. So.
Oh, God, Jesus, Lord.
I mean, listen, end of the day, if you really cared, you would be working. Can we argue with that? Can we argue with that? If you really cared and you really wanted to have a say, then you'd be working. Can we disagree with this? No, we cannot. Well, I mean, we can because we work, but he can't because he doesn't work. You know what I mean? But rather, I ain't gonna lie to you though. 40 bags. 40 bags on a wedding, another wedding, may I add. But what is this is like a renewal vow of what do they call these things when you get married again, man? You're renewing your vows. That's it. 40 bags though on a venue for the one night. That's crazy. Understand, 40 bags will get you a deposit on a mortgage. Am I gonna want to get a mortgage or pay for a wedding? I'm gonna get a mortgage. Am I gonna want to maybe invest in that 40 bags and profit from it, or get a marriage or get married? I'm profiting by investing it. Like I could start a business with 40. I can't start nothing with a marriage, but just being a prisoner, man. That's like selling my soul to the devil, man. Damn. You know, I was having this conversation, to be fair, on Patreon when I did a reaction to this. And I was saying that it's crazy though, because marriages are just so expensive. Marriages are such a business transaction. It's crazy. You spend all that money to get married, yeah? Okay? Remember, they say love is priceless. But yeah, I'm going to spend thousands to get married. And then if it doesn't work out, I got to spend thousands to get a divorce. Who gets the money? The wedding venue people get the money, and the divorce attorney gets the money. And I'm walking away with what? With what? Getting married to someone that just took my soul? I'm so evil against weddings, aren't I? Listen, I'm telling you now, if you're going to get married, don't do a big thing, man. If you're going to get married, yeah, just do a small little thing. It's going to cost you a couple hundred. You know what I mean? A small little thing. Because I don't know why people have to invite bare people, you know. I'll never understand that. I mean, for me personally, I have a very small circle of people in my life. Very small. I can fit them all in my one hand. And those people are the people that would be coming to my wedding. If I'm marrying someone and they're going to invite everyone that they know, people they don't even talk to, they ain't spoke to in 10 years, they haven't seen in 20 years. You know, and just imagine my circle looking bare quiet at that. So I'm gonna pay thousands for all your family. I mean, for everyone that you know that you don't even talk to. Does that make sense? Listen, man. All I'm saying is this: is that in this world, everything, a lot of bad things, not everything is bad, but a lot of bad things revolve around the money. I'm not saying a wedding is a bad thing, but I'm just saying though, if love is priceless, why do people spend thousands on weddings? And then spend thousands on divorces if it comes to that too? Anyway, it's clear where my life is never going. But let's continue. Florin still does not have a job. That doesn't change anything. He has no say. And Stacey has put down her foot and they are going to get married here for their renewal vows. End of story.
I met, like, as if they're a couple.
Oh my God.
I saw this picture of Cicero on a social media with another woman. It was posted around the same time we met.
So Darcy has found out that the man that she's been matched with by the matchmaker may have another woman in his life. But Darcy needs to get clarity, so what does she do? She sets up another date. The difference is, in this date, she sets up a double date with herself, sister, and Florin to meet up with her potential new man, Cicero. My apologies if I got that wrong, but let's see what happened.
Believe in me. How much money is going to pay first?
So based on your experience, since this is a low budget shoot, they're only willing to pay $150 for half a day.
This way, man turned up to a modeling suit, a cast calling type situation, right? With a bunch of other people. And honestly, it was so dry. This guy has no personality. The way he was moving was just... Let's put it this way. You know what? Let me just show you how he was modeling. But I'm going to say this though before I show you. I know there's a few people who are part of the channel who subscribe to who are gay, right? Let's put it this way. The way this guy models with his character is so boring that not even a gay man's even going to want to sleep with him. Let's put it that way. And all my gay subscribers, please confirm with me in the comment section. If you disagree, then your standards are very low. That's what I want to say. Yeah, because looks aren't everything, you know? I'm not saying Florian's a good-looking guy, but I'm not gay, so, you know, why would I find him attractive? But let me just show you.
That.
Turn around. Okay. Flex your muscles like this. Okay.
And this guy had the audacity to say to the woman, so how much are you going to pay me? 150. he gets irate. He gets vexed about the fact that she only wants to pay 150. I'm worth more than this. I'm better than this. But the guy has no character. Nothing. Like bruh. Oh my days. So like I said before, man, this guy likes so much character that even I'm telling you now, Stacey has a bunch of toys. I'm telling you now. She must play with herself all the time. Each time they get down, when that probably never happens anyway, as soon as like he's out, she's like, I'm just going to the toilet. I just need to go and do something, and then boom, she whips out everything. Going, yeah, this. I don't know why I'm married to this guy, but I have to do it myself. I'm gonna finish myself up. And I know women love to finish themselves up when the guy doesn't satisfy them. That is the case with this guy. You know what I'm saying? Oh my days, man. So boring that women don't, that you can't satisfy a woman. So boring that gay men wouldn't want you neither. You know what I mean? Boy, you are screwed. That's all I want to say there. Anyway, we continue. I'm so mean, I know. Damn. We continue.
Cicero's not here yet. I mean, it's been 45 minutes we've been waiting for him, and he hasn't even texted. That's just rude.
So Darcy was stood up by her new man that was matched with her with a matchmaker. And sadly, not only was she stood up by him, but Florian and Stacey were there as well. I mean, obviously she waited 45 minutes and then decided to actually ring him to see if he was turning up, and no reply. He didn't text her, didn't do nothing. I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, I don't care how much you may not want someone. I think it should be common courtesy to always let someone know that you are no longer interested. At the end of the day, I don't care if that person's your worst enemy. I am someone who's a strong believer. My moral is that you always keep things 100, okay? Because if you're not gonna do that, then why? You know, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Honestly, I live by the rule of, if I can't make it, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know. Even if I know it's gonna upset, I'm gonna let you know. I'd rather upset you by letting you know rather than upset you by not telling you, and for you to spend all your money, or for you to spend all your time getting ready and then spend your money getting to the venue, whether that be by a taxi or a car, whatever it could be, and then for you then sit down looking like a complete plonker to, like, there's no need for that. I don't know why people do that, to be honest. If you're one of those people that doesn't cancel plans on people and you just leave them stranded, you just leave them to turn up, there is something wrong with you. You need to don't do that, man. Like, come on, like in life, right? Something that nobody can take away from you is morals. Depending on your morals, of course, but morals that are true to you are things people can't take away from you. Only you can take away from yourself. So if one of your morals is not to be honest and just to be upfront with people, well, then I don't really give a damn about the rest of your morals because they're irrelevant to me. You know what I mean? That should be one of that should be in your top 3, 100%. Always keep it 100 no matter what. Anyway, unless of course you're doing some kind of prank, which is different. But the prank also has morals, doesn't it? Because you say, hey, I just pranked you, you know what I'm saying? This ain't one of those situations. But yeah, that advice, that made no sense. Yeah.
Maybe there was a little bit, in the date I should say, there was a little bit too much of alcohol consumption. To him, it was a red flag. To him, it was a red flag of like, oh, well, we're...
Interesting. Because he was ordering him for me.
So, you know, the matchmakers turned up. Well, not to the day. This is obviously for a different day. Darcy obviously met up with the matchmaker. The matchmaker's laying down the smackdown and basically saying to Darcy, hey, it's not cool that he didn't turn up. It's not cool that he obviously wasn't vocal about it, but he did give me some feedback. And the feedback he does give the matchmaker is feedback that, you know, she's giving on to Darcy. But to be honest with you, you know, I felt like the way the matchmaker went about it was just really disrespectful, to be honest with you, for the most part, because this man, do you know what? Actually, no, forget the matchmaker for 1 second. He was telling the matchmaker one thing, but then telling Darcy another thing. And I think what the matchmaker needs to recognize here is that even if some of the things this guy was saying was true, it doesn't change the fact that he may have been projecting these things. Because at the end of the day, if he's been buying Darcy the drinks, he can't then turn around and say, hey, so I just felt like the drinking was a bit too much, blah, 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 blah. But you're the one that bought the drinks. You're the one that was encouraging them. And then, and at the same time, you're encouraging this behavior, but then you go and tell the matchmaker, but I felt like she drank too much. That doesn't make sense. Also, on top of that, he had an issue with her social media. He said that he wasn't happy with the fact that her social media, it can be appealing to other men. It can be appealing for other men to want her because it's so sexual. You know, here's the thing. For me personally, that's a him problem. If her social media is coming across too sexual that you feel like other men are going to want her, I say that's a him problem, and I tell you why. Because you see this, right? If a woman or even a man is attractive, they don't have to post something sexual. You can post a picture, right, of you and your face looking and just blossoming, right? And that is something that can make anyone attracted to you. And that can make anyone to want to actually drop into your DMs, right? Anyone. So whether the pictures are sexy or not, that isn't relevant. That is him being insecure. But let's say he said, I wasn't a fan of a social media place because it's just a bit too explicit for what I look for in a woman. I like a woman to be a bit more respectful or a bit more, or to be presented in a different way online, and the way she presents herself really isn't for me, because, you know, I wouldn't really want my family and friends or whatever going on her page and seeing that this is da-da-da-da-da because that's my woman. If that was the case, different conversation. I'm going to agree with it. I'm all for it. But instead, you see, he's obviously now told Darcy, because I remember in the date, he's told Darcy on the date, legit, I'm happy with your page and I have no issues with it. But then he's telling the matchmaker something completely different. But because of all of this madness, anyway, this is what then actually happens with Darcy and the matchmaker.
One of the things that I do want to say is, Darcy, look back at all the failed relationships, the common denominator, right, there's you. And I wanted to recommend and suggest, I have some really amazing friends that are great therapists.
All right, so what has made the matchmaker say this? Darcy says to the matchmaker that our relationship is now over. I don't want you anymore. I don't need you no more. I'm just going to go and try and find a man by myself. I've tried it away and it hasn't worked. I've still been being ass. So obviously the matchmaker's feeling a bit salty right now. So she bounces back and says, well, your relationships have obviously failed because of you. Now, of course, Even though that is probably true. Well, I mean, yeah, it is true, you know what I mean? But then again, it takes two to tango. If a relationship doesn't work, it means it didn't work in both ways. But either way, though, there could be the one that's dominating more. And obviously, Darcy's probably that person. And I respect the fact that the matchmaker said it. In the way that it's gone about, probably isn't the base, because that's not going to register to Darcy. Because right now, Darcy's thinking you're only saying it only because I just sacked you, pretty much. So her saying it now is pretty much irrelevant. But there's truth behind it. But also on top of that, she then goes off and recommends that Darcy sees a therapist. I mean, that was savage on a different level. But to be honest with you, I do agree though, because there's obviously a lot of things that Darcy has cooped up that she is unwilling to accept about herself. And if she can accept them, then that would be better for her. And to be fair with you, Stacey needs to go with her as well. So I definitely agree with this, but the matchmaker definitely chose her timing to be very, very off. But either way, you guys let me know exactly what you're thinking down below and we'll talk. Until the next episode, don't forget to like, sub, and of course.